Today we will talk about some types of websites that we can make.
The word online is a key buzzword. When I say online, it kind of connotes any kind of online presence. Quite often I get questions, why should I build a website? Why should I actually purchase a domain name or a hosting space and put in all the efforts to build a website? Well, if you really look at it, without an online presence, today things just don't really work comfortably for anyone. If you're in a job, if you want to start a new business, if you want to showcase your talents, your art, maybe your music and stuff like that, for almost anything and everything, an online presence is critical. Now, a lot of people argue with me that when we look at an online presence, can't we just achieve it using social media? Well, I put my posts on Instagram. A lot of people follow it. They reach out to me. My details are in the bio. And I can do good business. Some people say, I run WhatsApp classes. Some people say my Facebook Live really makes me popular. Whether you're a traveler or a food blogger or a musician or an artist, even doctors today have started using online as a very important tool. Now, all these platforms are actually third-party platforms. So, you benefit from having your own website. And believe me, it doesn't cost much. When I talk of creating your own website, the costs are negligible in terms of the annual payouts, provided you can build your websites yourself. And that is one of my forte areas wherein I bring value to people who join my network. Now today, I'm going to talk about different types of websites that you can build. I have about 18 concepts lined up. But if you really look at it, the list is unlimited. Overall, these are just high-level thoughts which I have put in. But when you Google, you can find a website on almost anything and everything. So let us start. Let me jump to this mind map. 18 ideas, right? So we can start our website as a blog. Let me take you through these ideas one by one. So blogging is essentially the first step for a website. Now, if you really look at blogging, well, a lot of people started blogging quite some time back. But then, does it stop you from starting it today? What is really blogging? Blogging is nothing but creating articles which are your niche or your specialized skills and sharing them with the world to gain recognition. Now, blogging has been used as a content marketing tool as well. There are a lot of standalone blogs. One guy I know by the name of Harsh Agarwal, he started blogging almost about 10 years back on tech topics. He has a popular blog. He has now built up a team to help him manage all those inputs that come in from the blog. And he uses his blog both for promoting products as well as for affiliate marketing. He makes a decent sum of money from it. To start with, if you want to build a website, start with a blog. Now when I say a blog, even people who are in jobs, they can write blogs in a very simple manner that they could showcase their key strengths, their talent. They improve their visibility in the market and they can actually start getting better jobs or better recognition even within the same organization from their seniors. Blogging can be about anything. You could share case studies on the work that you do, either for an employer or for yourself. And that becomes a very, very strong recognition point for you. You could be a writer, you could be writing about traveling, you could be writing about food, and even a number of other types of websites that I mentioned a little later. They are all a form of blogging with a specialized interest. Google very strongly recognizes quality content, and definitely, like I have a blog called faoblog.com. It's on finance and accounts outsourcing. And believe me, even though I have not updated that blog for a few years now, I still get 250 to about 450 hits every day on that blog. So blogging gives me recognition as well. And even for this web design business, I'm starting a website called mohitweb.com, wherein blogging and content sharing is going to be a very critical component of it. Now let me scroll down to the second type of website. See, why I'm showing you all this is that it is not necessary that you build your website for business or for profits only. You could be doing some good charities. One of my friends in Noida, what he does is every Sunday he goes to an area where stray dogs are maintained. He contributes money to them, and also he feeds those dogs. So a charitable endeavor like this is something you may say, well, I don't want to showcase it to the world. But definitely if people know about it, there will be more and more people who will join hands with you. So another type of blog that you can make is a non-profit blog. Your charitable and non-profitable endeavors need awareness. If you want to support the old, if you want to support abandoned children, any venture for that matter, you can actually start blogging about it. First stage, when you start, you can just start telling people about what your experiences actually are. You can showcase your work and connect with a lot of people who are interested in doing something similar. So you could build a simple non-profit website, simple articles which you can keep updating every day. Just like you put them on Facebook or maybe on LinkedIn, you can put them on your own blog. That becomes your content. Over a period of time, you can actually write a book on that. Another popular website idea is a food website. They say the best way to a man's heart is through his stomach. You may be really loving cooking at home, creating cakes, pastries, creating good, different types of foods, very interesting foods which are unique, which you don't find in restaurants. Or maybe you're a foodie and you like to visit restaurants and try different food out. So you could actually create blogs around how a restaurant actually performs. How is the food quality? What is the level of cleanliness? And in the long run, yes, I know of some friends who've actually monetized these kind of blogs. When I say monetize these kind of blogs, these friends are being called upon to give reviews on food and on restaurants as well, and they get a decent sum of money. So you can create a website dedicated to food. You can share your experiences at various restaurants or maybe showcase your talents, how good you are at cooking. And yes, it will go a long way for you. Another type of website which is very popular nowadays are fashion elements. A lot of people sitting at home, especially the ladies. And believe me, they are churning out wonderful creations, especially on the fashion front. You can showcase your efforts, and this becomes a base wherein even on social media you can just simply refer to your website and build an ecosystem wherein people can buy your products as well. You can build a lovely portfolio around whatever work you do. You can draw users to your website, and you can provide tips to people as to what kind of stuff they can buy where. There are a lot of hidden fashion outlets which people don't know about. They are in nooks and corners. I remember for my daughter's wedding, my wife hunted a shop in Malad, Mumbai, which gave excellent lehengas for wedding purposes. So you can imagine that yes, your talents can actually get really highlighted on this front. During the lockdown phases, beauty and makeup also came to the forefront. Now, when I say beauty and makeup, it's a very broad subject. You can specialize either in general makeup or for events or for weddings or whatever, and also share whatever you've learned about beauty handling and creating makeup either in a light manner or in a heavy manner to make things effective for people. There is one group I follow called Birds of Paradise. When I say paradise, it's not Paradise, it's Paradys. Now they specialize into hair coloring and slowly are expanding into different areas. Now these people again created a very different kind of a blog on beauty and fashion statements for youngsters. The next type of website that you can think of is as a fitness trainer. There is a trainer which is again connected to me on Instagram. I follow him to get ideas as to how he's marketing his stuff. His key pitch is essentially of people who in the early phases of the lockdown suddenly gained weight, and over a period of time, let's say a few months, maybe a year at max, they managed to reduce their fat and weight. Guy I think is called Nair. So you could be good at fitness. So fitness training again can be supported by videos which can be hosted on YouTube. You can have expert tips, you can write blogs about it, how can people build muscles, and even I've seen some people utilize the fitness training activities for the purpose of diabetes control as well. Now as far as fitness training is concerned, another very interesting branch out is yoga and meditation. Yoga is being promoted by the Indian Prime Minister very heavily. It's a means, it is something which actually comes from ancient India and has a lot of good practices in form of exercises, breathing or muscular or stretching or whatever. It's an overall package for wellness. When bundled with meditation, it gives you peace of mind. As of today, the environment has created a lot of stress for people. Not only that, working at home, they have ended up with doing no exercise, very little movement, and that is where yoga comes very handy. A friend of mine, his wife, by the name of Tanu, she teaches yoga on YouTube. Now, I'm not sure if she has actually monetized that or no, but definitely I follow her to learn something new about some basic yoga techniques which I could use both for my purpose and I've been a diabetic for quite some time now, to help me control that and some other ailments which I suffer from. Meditation, it improves your concentration. You could build your website around this. You could start with basics, you could go to advanced techniques, and you could also customize solutions for one-on-one handling. And the moment you reach that stage of customized solutions, it means big money. There is a cousin of mine based out of the US. A few years back, he had started, I think probably around 5 years back, he had started a venture wherein he started teaching online yoga. Somewhere during 2020-21, he sold that venture for $1,500 million. So you can imagine, if you focused, if you're persistent, it really can take you to dizzy heights. During these times, humor and comedy also came to the forefront. There were stand-up comedians, OTT platforms had a lot of episodes for humor. Somewhere, if you have that talent, you could just kind of record a number of those acts, either as a podcast or as a video, and share it with people. People can have a good laugh, and overall, in the long run, yes, it will benefit you and everybody. That is another type of website that you can build. People face challenges as far as their finances are concerned. How do they manage money? How can they earn more money? Can they actually earn from the stock market? So, you could blog about personal finances, both for yourself and for other people as well. You could provide them with guidance. If you have a little bit of a financial background, there is a friend of mine who virtually crashed. He was heavy in debt, but ultimately recovered out of it. And he wrote a book as to how to manage your own self. He shared a copy of that with me as well. He talked about how to manage personal finances. This is one sphere which is needed very heavily. Believe me, although there are a lot of people talking about this, teaching this, but still, there is a lot of scope for this. Again, like in the previous items I had mentioned, previous types of websites I had mentioned, you could start with basics, you could then go on to advanced, you could help people with career planning, with finance planning, even provide one-on-one consultations to people so that they can manage their finances and live a comfortable life. Another very interesting thing is pets. Long time back, I had pet a couple of dogs at different times, of course. And eventually, the challenges I faced at that time, I had to let go of them. But then, in the recent years, rather I should say towards the end of 2020, I pet 2 cats. They were small kittens, just about a month old. And believe me, these kittens are a bundle of joy for me. The only challenge I face is when I have to travel. So, yeah, we make some kind of alternate arrangements and things like that. If you are a pet lover, if you provide protection and rescue different types of pets, whether it's dogs or cats or anything, you could build a small website. Now this website, you could just showcase whatever work you and maybe your friends have done. You could gather a large amount of following because that website becomes a permanent platform for you to actually, keep adding more and more content to it to give you recognition. Social media helps you, but then if you put it on a website and then share it on social media, your content will always remain with you. You can share your experiences, you can share the work by other people, your friends, and you can even kind of build a pet supply store online for people to use. Pet pictures quite often are used for advertising and modeling purposes, which becomes a lucrative area as well. Now let me tell you about one more talent of mine. So, from my childhood, I have been an artist. Now, to showcase my talent and to sell my works, I can always create a website. I can start with a simple website wherein I can showcase my artworks and in the long run sell my artworks as well as connect with other artists whose works I can market and sell as well. So, it doesn't really matter whether you are a fine artist, you could be an illustrator, a sculptor, or do anything like this, any kind of handicrafts as well, to be honest. Websites become a beautiful platform to showcase your work. The website has to be highly visual, and a website like this may also become a strong point for other artists like photographers, fashion models, designers. It will help you gain professional opportunities. You could get one-on-one customized solutions. You could get blog deals for, let's say, somebody wants to decorate a complete hotel unit which is coming up new. You may build a very strong fan base for that matter. Now, the 12th type of website that I'm going to talk about is a dance training website. A lot of people want to do dancing not for just professional purposes, but for personal gratification. Now, when I talk of dance training, you could be a dancer yourself. You could love to dance. You could be managing a dance company. A website will really come in handy for you. For a dance trainer, this becomes more of a resume, wherein he can showcase what kind of classes he runs. You could have a unique style which you could talk about. Or you could bring a bunch of similar people from your area or from across the country as well, very easily. As of today, there are lockdowns which are prevalent, but definitely some point in time, the theatre performances will open up again. You could build your calendars, showcase whatever work you want to do. You could sell tickets online and share details about your organization as well. Now, the 13th type of website, again, this is something which has been very popular as of now, a travel blog. What exactly is a travel blog? I think I did make a brief mention of this earlier. You like to travel. Once every week or once every month you go to new places. You like to explore places. Now you could actually tell people as to what this is all about. One of my ex-employees who used to work with me in a finance BPO, she and her husband started a travel blog. I think the name is Wheels on My Feet. And she shares her experience. After a couple of years, when she built her website as well as showcased her blogs on social media, there were companies which approached her. Companies who wanted to highlight the key strong points of their travel destinations. Now, this could become a good business over a long time. Otherwise, on a personal gratification, you build a following. There would be people who will ask you for advice. So, a travel blog is also an interesting idea for building a website. Now, one of the basic websites that you can build is a personal website. It can be for anything. You could showcase your talents, you could talk about the works you do, you could talk about the restaurants, it could be just something general. It just tells how you are leading your life and how it satisfies you. I'm sure a lot of people will get inspired by your thoughts, your experience. Now, when I talk of a personal website, I've seen people include professional experience as well on the website. they try to showcase that how they benefited their employer, their clients, what were some unique solutions they deployed in their work. Thus, just like a resume website, this goes a little beyond that and adds more to whatever your individual personality is. Now let's move on to website type number 15, a resume website. A lot of people actually struggle when they want to write a resume. They download copies from the web and somewhere they are never able to really showcase their strengths, and the way they build their resumes up, they end up showcasing their weaknesses instead. Their writing style may not be good. So there have been people I personally know who have resume writing websites available. Yes, in India there are a number of other platforms like Monster India, like Naukri.com, who provide similar services. But then as an individual, if you have a knack for writing good resumes, you could provide this service to people either free as a help to them, or even for payments which could be from nominal to phenomenal as well. I have even seen people at CXO levels reach out to a professional resume writer so that they can showcase their strong points to various people. I have a friend who very recently moved from Bangalore to Mumbai, and he's created an interesting concept called quotes. What he does is, on Facebook, he keeps sharing various interesting quotes. Definitely when you're doing it on a third-party platform like Facebook or Instagram, the content is kind of owned by those people. If you create your own website, eventually you could even write a book on various quotes that you publish. Maybe you can sequence them, you can bundle them up in groups, and it becomes an interesting publication to release to the world. Yes, this friend of mine did actually release a book because his collection was purchased by a publisher. Now let me talk about two other types of websites which have really become popular now. The first is a coaching website. A lot of people have built coaching classes either in form of recorded videos or in some form of a Zoom class or something. Now, a coaching website can actually be used to share your content, to monetize your content as well, to get people to understand about your coaching strengths. Coaches have really blossomed in these trying COVID times as of today. You can attract different forms of students by generating interest through social media, and your website becomes the foundation for all these coaching classes. Yes, there are platforms available, something like Teachable. There was one more platform which I had just very recently seen. People host their coachings on that. But eventually what they do is they buy a domain name and then link that domain to these customized specific platforms altogether. So you could either build your website or purchase your domain, build your website in a basic one-pager maybe or something like that, and link the learning platform into this website so that eventually you can just not create recognition about your skills but also monetize your skills. A lot of businesses have created e-commerce websites. Now, e-commerce websites, essentially I'm not talking of the likes of Flipkart and Amazon or websites as large as them. Even as a small entity, you could build your website with limited e-commerce functionalities. You could just create various posts on your website, embed buttons from your payment gateway provider, and still collect the money and payment. Of course, the dispatches and whatever can be handled separately by you. So these are 18 different types of websites that you can build, and believe me, the list is unlimited. Wherever you see this video, I will ensure that I will convert this mind map into a PDF and also share it over there for your purpose so that you can download it and get ideas. If you just do a web browser search, maybe on Google or on Bing or any other web browser, you can find hundreds and hundreds of website ideas, some of which may just click with you. So build a website in these times. It is not expensive, it is not difficult. There are platforms which are available by which you can do a drag and drop and build your website as well. Move your framework to an online world and benefit from it. Enjoy that journey. Take care.
Come, join my program. My name is Mohit Gupta. The Web Design Launchpad is all about building your own website the non-tech way without having any major technical knowledge.